My fair citizens of Sodium City, we have a new series, and it is called Farming Fridays. This series is all about taking the decks that we have built with over the last 7 days, finding out which one was the best performing, and then throwing it into a constructed event. Putting it in a constructed event will kind of allow us to get a vision as far as if we're able to farm gold with this particular deck, or if it's just too inefficient, or if it just simply does not work within that farming meta. The goal of this series is actually to promote people to enter the constructed events to farm gold that way, instead of using their money to pay for packs whenever a new set comes out. So every 3 months when a new set comes out, on average, if you have about 100,000 to 200,000 gold, you can pretty much buy the majority of every card that is in the new set. Obviously, this isn't going to be a play set of everything, but for the most part, that's going to be exactly what you'll need to get a great foundation for the new set. And for people like me who isn't good at draft or other limited type of events, the best way to do that is going to be through constructed events. And as for the first episode, it's going to start off with Moldy Panties. Enjoy. Moldy Panties. This is going to be the last installation of the Panties trilogy. Now, for some reason, this one probably actually felt the greatest of them all, which is not normal when it comes to a trilogy. If you haven't watched the first 2 videos, make sure to go back and watch those ones. It kind of captures the whole theme of the deck, which is Gonti, Lord of Luxury, and Panharmonicon. So Gonti, Lord of Luxury, is a 4-mana 2/3 creature with Death Touch. Whenever it enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of target opponent's library. Exile one of them face down, put the rest at the bottom of the library in a random order. Then you may look and cast that card for as long as it remains exiled. And you may spend mana as though it was mana of any type. So this is just a super cool card. You get to use the cards out of the opponent's deck, which is basically how we win the game, outside of, kind of just beating them down with some of the little creatures that we have. Now, Panharmonicon is a 4-mana artifact. If an artifact or creature entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So that means with Gonti, Lord of Luxury, you're actually looking at the top 4 cards, taking one, and then looking at another top 4 and taking one. So this is just really, really funny and can have all sorts of madness to it. Now, the ways we have to ramp for this deck are relatively simple, but also kind of unique. We are using Elvish Rejuvenator as well as Cavalier of Thorns. Now, obviously, this is kind of unconventional type of ramp because it's much more later game or mid game than you would typically say is ramp. And the reason that is because both of those are enter the battlefield effects. So with Elvish Rejuvenator, it's a 3-mana elf 1/1, which kind of sucks, but whenever it enters battlefield, you look at the top 5 cards of your library, you may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped, put the rest at the bottom of your library in random order. This is just fantastic. It's great ramp. It can be any land. It doesn't have to be a basic land. Again, any fucking land. A Cavalier of Thorns, pretty much the same thing, except it's a 5-mana 5/6 with reach. Very important because there's actually a lot of flyers going around. And the fact that it's a 5/6, it has a fat ass, it's actually a very, very good card. But whenever it enters battlefield, reveal the top 5 cards of your library, put a land card revealed among them onto the battlefield and the rest into your graveyard. Now, that does kind of suck, but we are using Gaea's Blessing to kind of offset that. So Gaea's Blessing is a 2-mana sorcery. Target player shuffles up to 3 cards from their graveyard into their library, draw a card. But it has the second ability of when Gaea's Blessing is put into your graveyard from your library, shuffle your graveyard into your library. Now this is obviously really good against mill decks because it can't mill you out, but it's also very good with Cavalier of Thorns because if you end up, procking Cavalier of Thorns multiple times, like 3 or 4 times with Panharmonicon, depending on how many you have out, you can mill yourself easily with the Cavalier of Thorns. So that's why we have Gaea's Blessing, to really just prevent us from milling out, but enable us to still get out a ton of lands. The last part of Cavalier of Thorns' ability is also very important. Whenever it dies, you may exile it. If you do, put another target card from your graveyard on top of your library. Now you can get any card from here, and a lot of times that's when we'll get something like the Gonti that died, or a Lithoform Engine, or a Panharmonicon, whatever we end up milling into the graveyard from the Cavalier of Thorns. It's all fantastic. It can all work very, very well. Other cards to mention are going to be the Ravenous Chupacabra and Helm of the Host. Now, the Chupacabra, when it enters battlefield, destroy target creature an opponent controls. This is just fantastic because you get to blow up a creature whenever it enters battlefield. And again, if you have Panharmonicon out, you get to blow up more than one. With Lithoform Engine, you can actually copy the ability of, an enter the battlefield effect. You can copy a permanent when it comes into play, or you can just copy one of your board wipes like Blood in the Snow, or whatever you end up wanting to do. Last honorable mention is going to be Helm of the Host. This is still a really, really fun card. It's a 4-mana artifact. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a token that's a copy of equipped creature, except it isn't legendary. If equipped creature is legendary, that token gains haste. This is freaking hilarious because, of course, Gonti is legendary, but if we have it equipped with Helm of the Host and we have Panharmonicon out, every single turn on our turn, we're going to make another Gonti and then look at the top 4 cards of their library, take one. We're taking 2 cards out of their library so we can cast it every single turn that we have a Gonti onto the battlefield equipped with Helm of the Host. However, if you have Helm of the Host equipped to a Gonti for more than a couple turns, you have 2 2/3s every single turn. And it's just, that's just overwhelming. You can't always block that. It's just not going to happen. And of course, you can copy that copy ability with Lithoform Engine. So you're making multiple ones. And it just spirals out of control. It's really funny. It's probably more of a win more type of thing if you don't have the Lithoform Engine out or the Panharmonicon. It's like an alternate win condition, but still really fun. And then on top of it has a win more. Since this is the third one in the trilogy, I still say it's probably the best out of all of them. If you end up building it, it's only going to set you back 23 rares and 6 mythics. So regardless of if you are used to my extremely expensive decks or my really cheap decks, this is kind of right in the middle. I don't even think I have any cheap decks, but this is probably one of the cheapest decks that I have made. It's just the cards are very awkward and kind of from weird times. So the chances of you having the rares and mythics that are already in here are very, very low. So it's a hidden expensive deck. All that said and done, this is the best out of the trilogy, and it is the truth. And as for yesterday's comment question of the day, I asked you, with all the revamps and new series that were thrown up on the YouTube channel, are there any other changes and maybe series that you would like to see? Here are your answers. If you want to see your comments featured in these videos, make sure that you answer the comment question of the day every single day, 7 days a week in the comments section below. If you want to see more fun and unique YouTube content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like button, hit the bell notification, come out with videos 7 days a week. And if you want to see anything else, make sure to let me know in the comments section below. And if you want to see me build and play all of these crazy other unique decks that you will miss on YouTube, make sure to go follow me over at twitch.tv/StriderStone. I stream 5 days a week, every day except Monday and Thursday. Enjoy. So, to enable the constructed events, you need to make sure that you have all play modes selected on, because a lot of people actually don't know that. And then you have to click on Historic Event. So, with Historic Event, you can just click on, boom, 500 golds, and then select your deck. With this one, we're going to select Moldy Panties, which was the best performing deck that we had this week. And so this is what we're going to try to farm gold with. Now, I have not done a historic event in like a year, I feel. It's been so long. Constructed event is really, really good for people who want to farm gold. So it's fantastic for just those who don't want to invest actual money into the game. They just want to invest their time. Which is obviously perfectly fine. This is how I got all of my gold back in the day when I was doing it. I just went into constructed event and I just did rapid fire. Boom, 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 boom. And so every 3 months when a new set would come out, I would have like 100 to 120,000 gold. And I mean, so far it feels like nothing's changed. Just mono red. Yeah. Mono red burn. Steam turn 2 Steamkin. It's exactly the same as what it used to be. Light up stage. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so this is a deck from like 2 years ago. This is literally a deck from 2 years ago. All right. Yeah, so this is where the majority of the... I didn't expect them to do that. That's cool. But this is where the majority of the free-to-play players go, and that's why you'll see a ton of super cheap aggro-y decks. So if you want to play a bunch of super cheap aggro-y decks that are, 10 years old, this is where you'll want to be. I mean, it's like turn 3, I just got like triple Lizard's Lightning, light up the stage. I mean, this is a deck that has been around for so long. Third light up stage. Okay, so I feel like they're gonna probably run out of steam here pretty soon. Unless they drop an experimental frenzy. Which would be horrible. Because we don't have enchantment removal. But that's the next thing that they would drop normally. So they'll shock one of my Cobras? They could just go face, I mean the normal stuff, yeah. Luckily we have 4 Chalupa Cobras. Jeez. I feel like an aggro deck now. Let's see if we can get like a bolt or something out of there. Pyromancer. Pyromancer's nice, but I think getting a first striker. Yeah, I think getting a first striker would be nice. God damn it. And this is the only thing I can try to do. So if they have a haste, okay, so I'm down to 2. If they have a shock, I'm dead. Fuck. That does not help me. So I assume they block with the Firebrand and then hit me in the face with it. That's the only thing that makes sense. So it makes so they don't take damage and they do damage to me. Yeah. To attack with 2 things, just to kind of ensure that some damage goes through. If they don't play creature and they don't have burn spell, we win. Beautiful. All right, so they don't have to block yet. If we had one more land, we would have won there. Yeah, and this is exactly why we kept 1 back. Exactly why we kept 1 back. Ugh. So close. Yeah, I have a feeling we're gonna run into that deck like 15 more times. But I'm pretty sure this constructed event is exactly why I ended up running like 8 to 12 board wipes in every single deck that I played, just because it was nothing but mono red burn. That's really all it was. But the goal of Historic Event is always to break even with 4 wins. So it costs 500 gold to enter at 4 wins before 3 losses, because it's essentially you need 7 wins to win before you get 3 losses. But it's 500 gold to enter, so if you get to 4 wins and then 3 losses, you get your 500 gold back, plus 3 uncommons. Now it's at least uncommons, so they can upgrade to rares or mythics, which is always fantastic. So just being able to get uncommons all the time. So getting 3 cards for 100 gold, so even if you go 3 and 3, getting 3 cards for 100 gold that are all at least uncommons is still actually a very good deal. So this is how I built my collection. This was really the only way, the easiest way for me to build my collection. I was never good at draft. Never. Not in paper. I was good at sealed, but I was never good at draft. So this helped a lot. Before I spent any money in the game, it was just constructed event. Goblins. Okay. Yeah, I have a feeling it's not... Yeah, I have a feeling it's not gonna be too different.
Same old fucking shit.
It's not gonna be much variance, I don't believe. Wait, did I just not play my Elvish Rejuvenator last turn?
I don't know, Jeff, has it?
Did I just not play my Elvish Rejuvenator last turn? Did I just space that hard? Okay, so I have a couple things I can do now. I can try to guaranteed ramp into my Cavalier of Thorns, which then guarantees... That's probably the safest move. I want a Panharmonicon, but against Goblins, I don't think I can be greedy. So we have 4 snow permanents, which is great. Yikes. Alright, so let's put down an actual threat, something that they're gonna think twice into swinging into.
That's a great idea.
Okay. So the guy's blessing is kind of nice, but also not, because I would have loved to blood on the snow. The problem is now if they get Muxus, they sack everything except for that chieftain. Oh, that's fantastic. So they can open swing everything except that chieftain. And one of the prospectors. Get 5 damage in, take me down to 10. Boom. Just Destroy all creatures. Give me back my Cavalier. It's mine. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good turn. I would like to say that that's a pretty good turn. So destroy a colorless non-land permanent. How much does it cost? 1? All right, so let's see if they do it. They take 2, if we get 2 power off the board, that's good. Although maybe I should have attacked first. Okay, so we got 2 power off the board. Two 2-1, I guess. 2-1 is kind of shitty, but I can't cycle it. It does cost 3. Maybe we should have taken the Prospector. I mean, yeah. I was like, I'll 100% block that. You're gonna have to start blocking eventually. Okay. Take it. Sure.
We are the aggro deck now.
So I'm like, as long as they didn't top deck on Muxus. Alright. Easy. Easy top deck. Get out of my constructed event, Mick Geezer. The fuck you are. Okay, so mono red burn and then goblins. Yeah, this pretty much seems the same as what it used to be. Except now goblins is in the mix. The first 3 games were almost always aggro. Almost always aggro. After that, it got into actual decks. But the first 3 games are like always aggro. Yeah. But also, if you go 0-2, like if you lose the first 2 matches, then you start going up against not so great cards. So you can always keep that in mind as well. Lurrus. So probably an Aura's deck? It's also not great, but we do have... don't thought Steve me, bro. Fuck! Okay, this isn't good. Yeah, we definitely needed that. Now we need to top deck a land. We need to top deck a black source immediately. Luckily we have removal for the turn 2, whatchamacallit, Arcanist. But I don't have another black source, which is the worst part about this. And they get to Thought Steve us again. So they get rid of our Ritual of Soot. Back! Alright, well... Fuck that thing. So we can use our second Chupacabra to kill the Pyromancer. I don't know why they shocked that in. Did they have a... Ah, they have a... Burial rites. Burial rites. The village rites. There you go. So yeah, they'll just... Village rites that. Oh, Spark Harvest. Got it. Okay. So this game? Game? What? What? My internet go out? What the fuck? All right, that was cool. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I can't tell. So they play their Arcanist. Shit. And that doesn't even do anything for me. Yeah, because if I attack into the Dreadhorde Arcanist, they just block it. They can attack with the Arcanist and Spark Harvest. My Gonti. And they get that for free. That's rough. I don't know if we can outvalue this deck. Yeah, they got rid of all of our good shit. The double Thoughtseize at the beginning is really what gets us. Self-replacement. So I'm like, if they block with that, then I get to shoot that Pyromancer, which is good. I assume they get back the Bedos. The good part about this is that now if they kill my Cavalier of Thorns, okay, we take so much fucking damage here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh yeah, I'm dead. Fuck! Dude, dead. That's a rough deck. Triple aggro. This deck wasn't necessarily meant to beat aggro, per se. This deck was kind of more of the like mid-rangey control. Like it can deal with some aggro, but not to that level. It shouldn't even been able to deal with that mono red burn. We just kind of got lucky because they didn't top deck a shock. Nice. Alright. I think they have a stomp for my Rejuvenator. No, they had a shock. 17, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got down to 9. Alright. Get rid of a little bit. Is it gonna be enough? Probably not. Cavalier of Thorns is our biggest defense against these decks. And we definitely need more snowlands on the battlefield, so whenever we can top deck a Blood on the Snow. Yeah, they're looking to see. They have a way to kill it. Like, I'm 100% blocking that. Yep. This is an odd blocking choice. Absolutely. Absolutely. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we can play the Toblerone and the Robber. Is this just red source? Yeah. Okay. So what do we get here? Boom! Get a free open swing. This is good. Another couple hits. If we can get 2 burn spells. It's a burn spell. It's a burn spell. Okay, so this deals an extra 2. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we win next turn, I think. That's fine. That is perfectly fine. Sag. Got him.
Gotcha, bitch.
What you guys say about that, opponent? I was the one with the light up the stage, aka Gonti. See, Gonti is 4 mana, a more reasonable light up the stage. A way more reasonable light up the stage. Dude, light up the stage is so good. The card is obscene. Yeah. Alright, so 3 aggro decks. I don't like that. I really don't. I don't like that. If this is what's to come, I don't... Because this whole series is basically going to be about farming gold in the constructed event. And so I want to take the decks that I made throughout the week, get the highest win percentage deck, and then throw it into this constructed event, and just kind of show how it can perform in this event. But if the meta is completely different than what it is on the ladder, then it's going to be much more difficult to do that. I was a little worried that that was going to be mono blue. Like, this is going to be turn 1 Spectral Sailor. Alright, well... Do we Lithoform Engine? Or Helm of the Host? Or Rejuvenator? There's so many things. This will find out if that is a... Because if that's a saw it coming, then I want to make sure that we keep our Lithoform Engine. Okay, it is. So now we keep our Lithoform Engine until they tap out, because Lithoform Engine is our counterspell protection. Right? Simic Flash. Fuck. Forgot about this deck too. Oof. This is a tough call. Like, I need to kill that ambusher before it gets out of control. Oh, really? Dive down? I thought for sure they had the Frilled Mystic. Oh, they have a bouncy unsummon or something? Why are they roping that? I'm very confused. Okay. Maybe I should just Ritual of Soot there. Try to get out the counter that way. Because that would have got rid of both their wolves anyway. So I really need to... stick that Lithoform Engine. I think that was a punt. Okay, so we'll take 4 damage here. We know they're running Sinister Sabotages as well. This is still a fucking... I fucking hate Simic Flash. Alright, so let's test. So they still have a counterspell. There's 3 cards in their hand. This should draw out a counterspell. That was the counterspell I was looking for.
Nice.
That was the counterspell I was looking for. So hopefully they don't have a second one. Alright. Now we just have to hope they don't have a counterspell for this, and then we can get a land into play, and then Gonti. Fucking Simic Flash. Fucking. Okay. So we haven't seen any new decks yet. Every deck that we've seen has been circa 2019. This is the interesting part. This is the interesting part. At what point? Yeah. So maybe I'll... who knows? Maybe this series can turn into a retro series to where I just go back and play decks from a year and a half ago. That'd be interesting. Let me know in the comments section below. It seems like that's a possibility, because a year and a half ago was when I was building decks. It was about a year and a half ago. It was when I was building decks for Constructed Event. So yeah, I need to bolt that with my Chaloop. No, Burning Tree Emissary sounds about right. Into that Spellbreaker. Ooh, Mammoth. We got something new.
Wow.
I need to kill I need to kill the mana source. It's the land destruction in me. They can henge though, which is the worst part. Let's just remove a creature from the battlefield. Would have loved to get a land. Okay. So if they have a stomp, well, that's 3 damage it absorbed, which is the same as that mammoth. Not anymore. Alright, we could just be losing here. Stomp to the face. Yeah. So, it looks like this is still an aggro paradise. Everyone's just farming constructed event for gold as quickly as possible. So you will have to keep that in mind when doing these events. They just go by so fast. As you can see, this deck did go 3-3. Wasn't fantastic. I don't exactly know. Even though this is Farming Fridays, it did break even, which is okay. There's some things that you could probably change with this deck that would make it better. Why did I not get any rewards for that? What the fuck happened? So, if you wanted to take this into Farming Fridays, if you actually wanted to farm with this deck, you would need to add more board wipes. So what would we do? Let's see. We would want to take out both of the Helm of the Hosts. Add in... Let's see, 2... Extinction Event kind of fucks us a little bit too much. 2 Languishes. Probably take out 1 Panharmonicon for a 3rd Languish, actually. So I would probably do something like that. We don't really have any turn 2 plays, so it's also something what you could do is you could take out the 3 Languishes and add in... I would definitely not put in Thought Steve. And it's not because it's not a good card, it's because you're losing 2 life. We don't have enough pressure on the board for the 2 life to just be whatever. We don't have the life gain in it to just be whatever. You could technically take these 3 out and then do Binding of the Old Gods instead. That's definitely not the worst idea either because it's a targeted destruction, just like the Chupacabra. Although I would probably... I mean, that's really what the Chupacabra is supposed to do, is basically take the role of Binding of the Old Gods and put it in a creature. Like in creature form, that's what this is. And it's supposed to play off the Panharmonicon. The only other thing, I'm trying to think of anything else. Tome? I guess Tome, early play, maybe sift for what you need. Tome would give you a turn 2 play, help you scry, give you some life gain later on. You still have problems with your turn 4 because there's a lot of turn 4 plays or a lot of 4 mana plays. So you could either add in Mind Stones for ramp or Wolfwillow Havens for ramp. Those would be the other things. You could also add in, which is not the worst idea. Actually, what you should do is take out these. I don't know if you want to add in 4, but maybe. should add in these. Since just go straight up snow. Just all snow, throw in some Faceless Havens in there, just for some early blockers if you need it, and there's still 4/3s. This is probably a much better way to deal with aggro, I would say. This would probably be the best way to deal with aggro. So if you do end up taking this deck into a constructed event, take this version. I'll have it updated in the description below. So again, take this one. Let me know how it is. Yo, what up, YouTube? Yeah, we going here, Strider. Come on. You didn't really think that I was that type of person, did you? Thank you everyone so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you were even a little bit entertained by this video, please make sure to let me know down below. And if you have anything that you would like to see next, go ahead and leave that there too. And make sure to check out my live stream 5 days a week, every day except Sunday and Thursday. Stream times down below.